Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is TribeXTalks, and you can see this is not our normal setup. That is because Aisha has traveled and Nusaiba has exams, so we wish her all the very best. Because it's only me and Warda that's around, we're going to do like a one-on-one kind of like interview that will lead to discussions and things like that. And we are going to be discussing the whole concept of pregnancy, labor, childbirth, and breastfeeding. This is like an interesting dynamic because we both kind of like had different experiences. I had a C-section, you had a vaginal birth. My labor was for like 3 days. Your own was like chap chap chap, like 5 hours. I can't relate. Both of us kind of like you breastfed for 2 years. I'm planning on breastfeeding for 2 years, but for some weird reason, two different reasons as well. Our sons are taking breast milk from only one breast. Your own was because of a medical condition. My own was just he preferred one breast and he got used to it. And the second breast was like, you know what? Since nobody needs me, I'm just going to shrink up and dry up and my breast. Okay, we'll talk about that one. About my breast later. So if somebody is pregnant now, from your experience, what would you tell them?
Mine was a bit mild compared to what other women go through. And I don't think I'm honestly going to have a particular advice for any woman that is pregnant because no two pregnancies are the same.
Yeah.
Even with the same woman, like your first pregnancy may be different from your second pregnancy. So my own pregnancy was I wasn't going through all these so much of okay, let me say I didn't have morning sickness in my first trimester.
Oh, I'm lucky you.
I had all day sickness.
All day. Oh,
no, it
wait.
was not like there is morning sickness and there is all day sickness.
Oh wow! So instead of only mornings, you were tired all day. Through the day.
I wasn't throwing up, I wasn't drooling, but I was extremely weak, and I was very much irritated by certain smells, like the smell of perfumes or any nice fragrance. I had to stop using my bathing soap. I had to stop using my body cream.
Were you only bathing with water or what?
No, I switched to black soap.
Okay, it doesn't have fragrance like
it doesn't
that.
have fragrance. I switched to black soap. I switched from my body cream to shea butter, just shea butter, because shea butter too has a neutral smell. My husband had a very difficult time during the first 5 months of my pregnancy because he loves perfume so much. And I was always like, because at the time it was like, okay, what if I use it on my way to work? What if I don't use it inside? But I noticed that the moment he steps into the house,
maybe you should bath before entering.
So at the point, he just stopped using the perfume.
And this is the things that we really need to talk about because there's kind of like a culture of silence surrounding pregnancy, childbirth, and things like that. Especially maybe some people that are pregnant. In our culture, we are not supposed to tell anybody you're pregnant until like maybe you are showing or something like that. So now imagine all the advice. Imagine all the advice you are missing because you are keeping your pregnancy a secret or something like that.
I didn't even know about that culture until I was pregnant. And there was another neighbor of mine that was pregnant during the period. I didn't know she was pregnant actually because I have this thing. I don't recognize pregnant women until they are very heavy. But she already knew that I was pregnant, and I wasn't even hiding my own. I was always talking about it. But when I discovered that she was pregnant, I was shocked. Like, I've been telling you about my own pregnancy, about my due date and stuff like that, and you have been keeping quiet. Then she was like, no, that it's wrong for you to just tell people that you are pregnant.
Is there a religious injunction to that?
No, I think it's just superstitious beliefs.
Or evil eye? Do you think maybe people don't want to inform other people about like maybe good things that is happening to them currently because of evil eye?
Well,
I'm just thinking
probably I didn't learn the hard way though, because despite the fact that I was very open about my pregnancy. Nothing happened to my baby. Nothing happened to my baby. Came a day after the due date, so it wasn't like, okay. There's this superstition too that you don't tell people your due date. But I was always telling them that, okay, I'm due in August. This is my. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I was very surprised when I eventually heard, or when people started cautioning me to stop
talking.
To stop talking about it, to stop telling people about it. So, but then if I don't open up about what's happening to me, how am I supposed to? Okay, there was this online community, baby center.
Oh yeah.
So is that enough? Like, is it enough to just trust a group of anonymous people over
Somebody that is
close
around
friends
you.
and family, especially people have actually gone through pregnancy and childbirth, and you just want to hear directly from them?
To be honest, I feel like it really helped me because me, when I was pregnant, I really didn't announce it. Although what my husband told me was like the way I was tweeting, all the things I was talking about, like on social media, because I never announced it on social media until I gave birth. Like all the things I was tweeting about, it already looks obvious that I was pregnant. And then because of my like extreme lethargy, I think it's morning sickness. I wasn't throwing up. I wasn't doing all that drilling and stuff, but I was tired all the time.
Yes.
I did not want to do anything. So all morning till like maybe zero time, it's like 2 or 3. Then that's when I'll start being all right. I was just like, it was just like, "Meh," like I did not want to do anything. I was tired for like the whole of first trimester. So my husband said like, if somebody was like looking at the way I'm tweeting or something like that, it already looks obvious that I'm pregnant. Because nothing really much was happening, I didn't feel the need to ask anybody. Although I downloaded, I think it was the Flow app and Baby Center as well. It guides you through the weeks of your pregnancy. It guides you through things that you should do and should not do, what is going on in your body and things like that. And I didn't really have any extra questions. Although I feel like maybe it would have been nice to speak to someone else that is going through what I'm going through, or that has gone through what I'm going through. But I didn't, maybe because normally with me, before, I'm a very, very private person, I didn't feel the need like to discuss it or something. So I was reading a lot. My husband, when I'm talking about something that is happening or what I should do or what, like, you'll be like, oh, Dr. Google, like Dr. Google has told me what to do or what not to do. And those communities, online communities, are very important. I search for anything. I can't really remember
Anything and everything.
my early days of pregnancy, but they are going to just be something a very weird question, and I'm just going to type the question in on Google like that, and I'll get an answer. Somebody has gone through that before, and it was really helpful. It was.
Did you have cravings when you were pregnant?
I don't know, not really. I ate a lot for like 1 month. I think it only lasted 1 or 2 months, or maybe 3 months. I think maybe for first I was eating healthy. I was grilling chicken. I was not taking soda because I could not take soda, and because I really like Coke and the smell, I'll now be sniffing Coke like somebody that's an addict or something like that. Like because I cannot drink it, I wanted to be healthy, like not take any soda or coffee or tea. What I loved about pregnancy, because I couldn't take caffeine or tea, things like that. I was taking mint tea and I'll put milk inside
and
honey.
taking vinegar and honey.
What's that? Because I know vinegar has a very weird.
Sour, and I had this sour tongue when I was pregnant. I always wanted things like lemon water.
Wait, did that give you an indication of whether you were going to have a boy or a girl? Because when they say yes, I can't remember. Like when you are craving sweet things, maybe it's a girl. When you're thinking sour,
I don't think I believe in all those things.
Me, I think I dreamt I was going to have a girl. I thought my husband, even on my birthday while I was pregnant, my husband put on my cake like happy birthday honey and little honey or something like that, because he assumes I've seen a girl. They were having a girl.
For the first 5 months,
boy.
for the first 5 months of my pregnancy, I was thinking I was going to have a girl.
Why did both of us think?
I was already, there's this thing about when you're pregnant, and sometimes, okay, during that period, I was usually the only one at home, so I'll just be like, let me just talk to my baby. I was calling my baby a girl's name for the first 5 months.
You've already picked name?
We already picked name.
I did not pick
if it's
name.
a boy, is going to be man. If it's a girl, she's going to be Akila. So I was already
Akila DB?
I
Is
was
it from
already
Akila
calling-
DB?
No, I don't.
What does Akila mean?
Intelligent.
Oh.
So I was already communicating with the baby as if the baby was. But then I started having dreams that I gave birth to a boy, and then we.
My own dream said it was again. Those things are
So,
silly sometimes,
yes,
I get.
I think it is. But when I was pregnant, I was extra cautious because on one of the forums, someone actually said the thing about having a very smooth delivery is for you not to gain much weight when you are pregnant. So I was extra cautious when I was pregnant. Although I wasn't even having food cravings, but I just wanted. They said don't. This pregnancy app. I don't think you have heard it before. About when you are pregnant, you eat for two.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to eat for two. In
That
fact,
you're
I
not
think
supposed to eat for
I
two.
think it's only when you're in your third trimester when the baby is rapidly growing.
Right.
That's when you should like maybe eat for 1.5 or 2 if it can enter your body. But at that time, eating then in third trimester when the baby is pushing against your lungs, and did you have serious heartburns? Like
in the third trimester.
I didn't even know what heartburn was until I was in my third
Two
trimester.
things that used to trigger my heartburn
Mm.
in the third trimester of my pregnancy: yogurt and beans.
I did. I don't know what triggered my heartburns. I just know I was having heartburns.
I was
if
having
I
heartburns.
ate.
I was having insomnia. I could not sleep.
Oh,
I was having severe back pain.
So you that you could not sleep, me, I was sleeping. I was just sleeping throughout my pregnancy. Oh yeah, that back pain on. I had back pain too in third trimester. They gave me some injections at the site and it went. I couldn't even pray properly
Oh,
then.
they didn't give me any injection because when I complained of back pain, they told me it was normal during third trimester. That they just told me, they just taught me some sitting positions. I stopped lifting heavy objects.
Yeah, they said all those
doing
things.
so much stressful work
Things.
during the period.
But are we not supposed to actually keep active during that period because it's close to
I
labor?
used to walk like I don't know.
Me, I did not walk.
In fact, at a time, I will deliberately not even take any means of transport. I will just use my two legs. I will take walks in the evenings. When my husband is around, we will take walks together, very long walks.
Did you think that helped with your labor? Because me, I feel like the reason why I couldn't give birth through the vaginal canal was because I wasn't a very active
person.
And it wasn't because I wanted to not be active on purpose. During the start of my pregnancy, I was doing yoga and I was doing all those strength exercises, Kegel exercises and things like that. And I was diagnosed with placenta previa, basically placenta blocking the birthway, and the doctor was like I should take it easy, I should not do anything, like no strenuous activities. So I stopped, and unfortunately I feel like it was bad advice. I should have actually kept active and stuff like that. Although I spoke to someone, a mom, I think it was my sister-in-law that told me, like, it doesn't matter, you could have been very active all through your pregnancy, and if God says how you give birth is through an emergency C-section, like my own case, you would give birth through emergency C-section, or you could have been lived a sedentary life and not been active, and if you are going to give birth vaginal, like fast like your own. Anyways, you said something. You said you could not sleep. Yeah. During that period, did you use that opportunity to do tahajjud, pray, like the spiritual aspect of being pregnant? Did it affect your prayers, your act of ibadah, your salah, things like that? It did not.
I continued praying until a few hours before I gave birth. And I think probably because I was active during pregnancy, it didn't affect my salah, because I noticed some pregnant women during the third trimester of their pregnancy, they sit to observe salah.
Oh, yes. I was standing up
too.
Even while I was in labor, I was in labor for like 3 days. While I was in labor, I was still praying.
In fact, my doctor, the night I went into labor, my doctor was asking me to not stand to observe salah. I told her, no, it's fine, I can stand. She said no. She forced me to sit down to observe salah, that it's stressful and all. But one thing I noticed is I think the walks actually did a very good job, because the night I fell into labor, I wasn't feeling any pain.
How did you not know you were in labor?
I knew because I wanted to observe Maghrib.
Mm.
Then I went to ease myself and I saw the bloody show.
Okay, I actually have a question for that bloody show. When you already have a bloody show, is that nefas? In the sense that, when we have nefas, we cannot pray. When you've seen the bloody show, do you stop praying? Or you continue praying till when your water breaks or something? I don't know.
I had no idea that I was supposed to stop praying.
Oh.
I still, after that bloody show, I still observed the Shai.
Me too. After bloody show, I observed the Shai. I prayed the second day, the whole prayer, because I didn't know. So I think maybe you should find out about that, because it was later.
Before the bloody show?
No, it was after the bloody show that I started having contractions on Thursday evening, and throughout till Friday morning, I could not sleep because of the pain. I was in pain, very intense menstrual pain. It would come and go, things like that. Now, when I called my doctor around 5 a.m. and he said, "Oh, madam, you are in labor." I was so excited. Like, yes, I'm going to get
my doctor actually told me that I had been having contractions for a few days, but I wasn't feeling it.
Maybe you have a high pain.
No, it's not. My mom, because my mom was the one who recommended walking, and she told me that if you are very active during pregnancy, and you are taking lots of walk, you won't even know. Sometimes you won't even know when the baby is coming. So what my mom told me was that I wasn't feeling the pain of contraction because I was very active during the period. In fact, after the bloody show, I still wasn't feeling any pain.
Oh wow!
I saw the bloody show around a few minutes before 7 p.m. and I started having labor pains around 11:30. So it was 4 hours after. Like 4 hours and 30 minutes after.
I feel like that's why you're active labor, when you actually was feeling the pain, because the pain actually keeps increasing progressively.
It came with full force.
Oh, they had to give me oxytocin when my labor my cervix was not dilating fast enough. They had to, I think, give me oxytocin or something to increase force of contractions. And I also felt like I actually had it very easy compared to some people, where somebody was telling me about how they used, I can't remember the thing, but it's like a device where they use it to expand the cervix so that the baby could come out, even though she still ended up having an emergency C-section. That's when I realized, I think I still had it easy, even though it was like very hard. I still was. So now that we've kind of like, there's still a lot to talk about in pregnancy, obviously, but let me just, before we move to labor, because I feel like we should move along to that. Your second trimester, how did you feel like? Because the second trimester,
I felt like I wasn't pregnant.
Me too. We even traveled. Me and our husband, we traveled.
Yes.
We like, that was first trimester, morning sickness, the whole annoying lethargy. Second trimester, because you're not really showing yet, you're not gaining weight yet.
And then you are looking beautiful.
Yeah, you're glowing. And that trimester,
you're looking ugly. Like
God, I was ugly. God, I was ugly.
You're looking very dark, your nose is big, everything.
My face was
swollen, your feet, your hands, everything.
And immediately after you gave birth, it just disappeared.
That was the period I even hated looking into the mirror, because I was always feeling sad.
See, you now ask your husband, and your husband will be like, "No, you're nothing.
No, you are looking so beautiful."
You're lying. But it's normal. After the baby comes out, everything just clears up. It was like a miracle. It was when I was pregnant, I had the skincare routine, because I thought maybe like it was skincare. So it's now.
Almost 4 weeks before clearing.
No, my own like 2 weeks. Even by the time I had, we're doing 1 week after, because I remember during the naming ceremony, my leg that was swollen just went down. Like everything was just fine. I was still a little bit dark. I was still a little bit swollen, just a little bit, but everything just. I lost 15 kg, I guess. So let's talk about labor.
No, before labor, when did you start taking your prenatal vitamins? And what vitamins?
I was even taking folic acid before I got pregnant. We were not trying to have a baby because we were not using any birth control. We're only monitoring my cycle, and I was really afraid of birth controls, because I hear a lot of like horror stories around it. Maybe if it's hormonal, it might mess up your reproductive system. Are you on birth control?
No.
So both of us.
On birth control?
No. So both of us, we are just Yeah, you'll be pregnant. You don't know. I don't know. I'm just afraid of it. I feel like it's only when I know that I really don't want kids anymore. That's when I'll get on birth control. Right now, just be careful. You use protection like condoms or stuff like that. What do you think about birth control?
It's not for me.
Because we hear lots of horror stories. Like people have started coming out
Horror
and talking
story.
about it.
In fact, besides, my mom used 3 different types of birth controls when she was still in the early years of her marriage,
Mm.
and then she learned the hard way because they had serious complications. So she sat me down, she advised me, she told me, don't use birth control because the side effects of these birth controls, they are very much downplayed. Like, they are excessively downplayed. They don't tell you the truth of how it's going to affect you, your body, your mental health, everything. They don't tell you the truth. I think in most cases they are only so much concerned about population control, and they don't really care what happens
But pregnancy is hard. Labor is hard. Child raising a child is hard.
and
I
all
really
these
want to
things
control
tell
that.
on you. Exactly.
So how like because it's this. I'm just thinking of this stress in the sense that especially when some people, when they're just giving back post and they are not even able to take care of the children, you would
I think birth
suggest that.
control is something that women need to discuss with their husbands, because I'm of this opinion that the burden of birth control should be on the man.
Maybe we should do that next because I feel like it's a whole
Topic on its own.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk about labor. I feel like when labor starts and they have to do like vaginal examination, and I don't know, maybe it's only my husband that has seen me naked or something, or then during antenatal it was a female doctor that was checking me and everything. I felt violated. Honestly, I was annoyed. I was pissed because that was the first time like it was going, because it was a male doctor that had to attend to me during my labor and during my birth. He had to, I don't know what they did, but I think like they just put finger there like it was painful and it was annoying.
Very painful.
And I feel like maybe that was the first time I started getting angry at things. Not because, to be honest, I feel like my labor just made me angry a lot. And maybe it was the pain. And then I realized that some people, when they are angry all the time, I feel like it's like pain. It's pain that's talking to them, that's making them angry. What else about your labor? Wait, sorry. I don't know whether you are annoyed about your labor. What was your labor experience?
I wasn't annoyed in the beginning. When it started, my contraction came 5 minutes apart.
Oh, whoa.
When the labor pain started, because I was checking the time. I wanted to know how far I had come. So it was 5 minutes apart. And after about 15 minutes, it reduced to 3 minutes apart. Then my labor started at 11:30. By 12 o'clock, it was already 1 minute apart. And at a point, there was no break.
You were just in pain
I was
all
just
the time.
in pain. I was so much in pain. I was already feeling lifeless. I was already feeling as if there was life going out of me.
Why
And
did you sorry that I interrupted you. Did you opt for epidural? Maybe you didn't want it, or maybe they advised you against it?
No, they didn't advise me against it.
Me, I was like from the beginning I wanted epidural. I could not stand.
They didn't
I cannot
advise
stand
me against it. I was just
pain.
like, during pregnancy, I was reading so much about natural birthing, and I was just like, okay, let me try it. Let me speak up. And I read so much about women that have gone through natural birthing, and there were so many positive, positive reviews, positive experiences. And then some of those women said they didn't opt for epidural because it had so much side effects too. So I was like, okay, let me see if I actually learn from these women and I put what they've advised into use. Probably I'll also have a similar experience. My 5 hour labor was intense. It was, I don't know how to describe the pain. I don't think it's describable.
No,
It was
even
very,
your own that
very
was even
painful.
intense.
At a point, I didn't even know where the pain was coming from. It was all over from my head. At a point, I could not even utter a word.
Oh,
I,
me,
I,
I was
I
still
could
talking.
not,
I
I
was still
could
shouting,
not,
"Ya Allah,
I would
what is
open,
going
I
on?"
was not even able to, because I would just open my mouth and nothing. At a point, I was very dehydrated. I was very, very
They will not let you take
dehydrated.
water.
I was whispering. Okay, my mom was beside me during that period. I was whispering to her, like I was like lip talking, and she actually got what I was saying. She wanted to be. I took Zamzam water to the hospital, and
Me too, all of us.
I was like, she should get my Zamzam water, and the doctor said no, and I felt like dying. I felt
I
like,
think like they make us not eat in case there's going to be
no,
like an
but do you know that's
emergency.
very wrong?
It is.
I have read that it is very wrong to deny a woman in labor food and water.
Me, they stopped my own after a while because they saw that my labor was not progressing fast enough and there might be need for surgery. So I think that's why they made me stop eating and drinking. Even though I did not even have appetite. I didn't want to eat.
Eventually, when I asked my doctor, she was like, "We don't want you to take water because you may vomit." And I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
"Is that all? Okay, what if I vomit? Is that all?
Actually, that's true.
What if I vomit?"
Anyways, I think we are going to have to do part 2 of this because it's how many minutes is it now? It's almost 30 minutes, so we have to round up. At least we've been able to touch on pregnancy and like labor. So we're going to do the part 2 we're going to do is going to be on what is it like childbirth, like actually seeing your baby,
And then
like
the
the baby coming out.
episiotomy of CS.
Yeah, the healing process and everything, and breastfeeding and child rearing and things like that. I hope we've actually been able to touch on some things. It's important for us to talk about it. And what I've noticed on Twitter now is like people talking about these things a lot and being more open. Because me, after like 20 years, it was after I had my own C-section that I knew my mommy also had the C-section. So imagine
She
how
didn't tell
she didn't
you.
tell me because
In
it's
fact,
very
my
weird.
mom,
How can
my,
they not
my,
talk about
my,
it?
my mom was downplaying the whole thing. When I asked her, she was like, "It's not really painful. You just
It
have
was
to be strong." And then
yeah.
after I went
And that's what they
in,
always
after I
tell us.
went in and I told her, "Is it just me? Is it like your own was not really painful?" She said, "It's actually very painful."
She
but
didn't want to.
But you have to know what you are going in
Well,
for.
maybe that how some
Because
people
to be
how some
very
people
honest,
yeah,
to be very honest, I did not expect the kind of pain.
I feel like maybe I wasn't anxious about labor. I was excited because first I was going to meet my baby. Inshallah, he's healthy. I'm going to
Yeah.
meet him because it was a very nice occasion. Because I've not experienced labor before, I didn't know the pain, so I was not very anxious or something. But I'm sure the next baby like this, I'll be so afraid because I know what I
Because
went
now
through
you
now.
know what exactly.
Even though I feel like I've forgotten.
Exactly.
Anyway,
so wait, but I'm going to ask you now, like, what advice would you give to someone who is looking to get pregnant soon, or someone who is pregnant and is looking forward to having her baby?
I think the advice I would give for someone that wants to get pregnant is to like be patient, like try and learn patience if possible. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your spouse. A lot of things are changing in your body, like lots of hormonal change, which is actually even going to affect your behavior. They're sort of normal. Like be very prayerful because throughout my pregnancy, I was even if I was not praying like a lot because I was a very lazy goat. I would be playing Surah to Bakara in the house.
Yeah.
Like I was always playing with my baby because I really, even after I finished giving birth, I really miss when he used to kick in my tummy, that kind of thing. So I'll be
Yes.
rubbing the tummy, playing Surah to Bakara for him. Surah to Bakara, playing it in the house. I feel like it offers some form of protection. So also, because the giving birth as well, you have to like make time for yourself and for your baby because that time is for when not to do anything else. Like just be present, just be chilled, and hopefully somebody will have actually a partner that would actually be very
And-
helpful.
And then to get yourself a very strong support system,
Yes.
because this is not something you can do alone.
And it is also important to like make sure like it is what worked best for you. After I finish giving birth, some people want lots of people around them to be helping or something. Me, what I want is quiet,
Yes.
opportunity for me to sleep. I want to sleep. Like nobody should be around me. I'll be fine.
I actually
Really.
didn't want lots of people too, but for the first 3 months after I gave birth, I was practically doing nothing except sleeping, waking up, eating.
Which is the best,
And because
honestly.
during that period, because of the peculiarity of my own experience, I was in so much pain, so I could not even do anything extra.
You know what?
Because it was going to affect me. We are going to talk about it.
Yeah, like let us
Round up.
yeah.
So another advice I'll give is during your labor, make lots and lots of dua. That period is like magic. The period when you are in so much pain and the baby is yet to come.
I forgot about that.
Anything you say
I was
during
in
that
pain.
period, pray for your baby, pray for your husband, pray for yourself.
I
pray for
forgot.
whoever.
I was in
Anything
pain.
you want, it's like no. During the early stages of my labor, when it first started, I was making dua. I was making lots of dua.
Yeah.
But at a point, I could not open my mouth again. I was just like,
You can be saying
because I was
things like
feeling.
now.
In fact, I felt like I was going to die. Like, to be honest.
Sorry. So sorry. Me too, sorry. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to put part 2 out after this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Bye bye.